Today I'm going to do the transmission upgrade on this 722.9 transmission in a 2010 S550 Formatic. You saw my last video, I explained why I think this is really important if you have the Formatic, because the transfer case shares the same fluid. And as I did with the C350 last week, I'm going to pull the plug, drain a little bit out, and inspect it before we drain the pan completely. Okay, I think maybe this transmission has been serviced. Somebody put that plug in with an impact wrench. Oh, wow. And if I do this right, I can leave it right on the wrench. Put it right back in. Okay. I'll just snug that back in until I'm ready to drain it. All right. Let's take that over to the bench, take a close look at it. You know, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's not red anymore, but it's not chocolate brown. I suspect there's been some service done on this. The car has 98,000 miles, and I suspect it was just a partial service, which means draining the pan, replacing the filter, and adding maybe 5 to 6 quarts of new fluid. Now, I have to say I'm very pleased. I think this one is even cleaner than the C350. It's obvious that the fluid's been changed. If it hadn't at 98,000 miles, you would see a lot more of this sludge built up. You can see on the magnet there's only a little bit on the edges. And then you go over here and look at the filter. This is not a Mercedes filter. This is an aftermarket filter. There's no Mercedes part number on it. So that's another sign. And then finally, here's a good one, is take the gasket off and see how flexible it is. At 100,000 miles with the original gasket, this is going to be really hard. You can see this one is very flexible and is not cracking. So this is good news. After showing you that transmission, talking about this, it's obvious this is the early version of the 722.9, and doing an upgrade with the larger pan and the better filter is a no-brainer, particularly because it's a Formatic. I had one viewer leave a comment saying, you know, he lost his Formatic transfer case and he had to buy a whole new transmission. So if you have a Formatic, you want to pay a little extra attention to the transmission fluid. Make sure it's clean and really in good shape. Now, this is something you can do yourself. What you see here on this bench is everything I offer for the DIY mechanic who wants to convert their older 722.9 to the newer pan and filter. These are the things you're going to need. I package a lot of this together for cost savings, but you're going to need the pressure tank. And this pressure tank's unique because it comes with hoses to do a power drain. And by power drain, I mean run the engine to drain all the fluid. I don't flush it, I power drain it using the engine. But as I'm going to show you a little later, I can't really do it on a Formatic. It's just too difficult. But having looked at the fluid I removed from this transmission, I'm not all that concerned. If I can get about 6 quarts into it with the new pan and filter, I'm going to be fine. The kit comes with correct pan. You're going to get the triple media filter from Mercedes-Benz, a new gasket, and you're going to get this little pack. And now here's something that's very important, that when you do this upgrade, you do not use the white standpipe, use the green one. And when you put the pan on, do not forget this. If you do, you'll never get the transmission fluid right. It'll all be pouring out because you'll think the transmission's full when it's almost empty. You understand? Do not forget this part when you're installing the pan after you put the filter on it. And there's a couple other things you're going to need to do this. You're going to need some way to measure the temperature of the transmission while you're setting the fill level. And you can do that with a good scanner like a Yucanic, but you can also do it with an inexpensive infrared heat gun. And we do carry these on the website. And then you're going to need a little torque wrench. I like the beam style torque wrench because I feel it's accurate, because you're going to be setting torque at 4 Newton meters and then turning the wrench 180 degrees. So it's pretty critical. Those are stretch bolts. New stretch bolts are included. You should not reuse the old bolts. Now, before I continue, I just want to clarify the issue of transmission fluid, because I get this question a lot. You know, if I'm going to upgrade the pan and the filter, do I need to upgrade to the newer fluid? So the answer to that question is no. You keep the same fluid. If you have an early version, 722.9, that does not have the code A89, you retain the red fluid. You do not change the fluid. It doesn't matter what kind of pan you have on there. It's the transmission that requires this red fluid. Now, if you look at this fluid, it's kind of a blue-green. This was the fluid that they added into the 722.9 Plus with option A89 because they wanted to introduce a low friction coefficient to increase fuel economy. And part of that is this fluid. So you can clearly see the difference in color. If you have the newer Plus transmission, use this blue fluid. If you have the older transmission, use the red. Doesn't matter what pan you have. I have the pressure tank set up, and I'm in the process of refilling this transmission with exactly the amount that I drained out, plus about half a liter. And I found out that on this 4MATIC, it's going to be very difficult to do a power drain because I can't get the return line from the transmission cooler off here. You see there's a T running off and going over to the, I believe, the top of the transfer case. So it'd be virtually impossible. Usually on a non-4MATIC, I pull this fitting off right here and hook a hose to it and run the engine to do the power drain. So I'm not going to be able to do the power drain on a 4MATIC. I'm going to make notation in my kit that it's very, very difficult. You know, you might be able to find a way to connect to the bottom of the radiator. We're going to get about a little over 6 quarts put in. And I'm happy that the fluid's not dirty and yucky, or I would really try to find a way to do the power drain. If your model has a drain plug in the torque converter, you could probably get another half a liter out. So if you look at my setup here, I've already put 4 quarts in. We're going to pump it up here. I know some of you are laughing, probably thinking, hey, Kent, that's ridiculous. Why do you have to fill a transmission from the bottom? Well, I think the factory finally figured out when you fill the transmission from the top, you get a chance to introduce a lot of dirt. That's why they did away with the dipstick. Everybody was shoving dirt down in the transmissions and ruining them. So I believe once you've done this a couple times, I know access is not as easy. This is a much more accurate way to fill the transmission. Now I'm going to explain, once I get all this fluid in here, I'm going to have to warm the transmission up until it gets to a certain degree before I check final fluid level. This is going to be a challenge for some of you when you want to set the transmission fluid level in your 722.9 transmission. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can use a scanner like this Yucanic. I really like this scanner. If you own one of these cars, you probably should have one of these anyway. But notice it's reading 104. That's Fahrenheit. Now our target temperature is 113 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 degrees centigrade in order to check fluid level. If you don't have a scanner, you can use an infrared temperature gun to check temperature. But I'm going to sit here and let this run until this gets to about 115 degrees because it's going to cool down while I get it up and get it ready to check the level. There's lots of videos on YouTube about this procedure. just a couple things I want to confirm. One is you have to have the engine running when you do this. It has to be up to temperature. As you saw earlier, I've got the mechanic hooked up and it's right up to temperature. Now what we're looking for is the right amount of drip. There may be some confusion there. You don't want it pouring out. If it's a steady stream, you're too full. If it's just drip, 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 that means you're too low. When you pull the plug, it should be coming out, but it should be breaking up. There should not be a steady stream. So let's see how close I was to getting this one filled. And I've got my shutoff valve handy. If I'm under full, I'm going to have to hook this up and put some more in. So let's see what I've got here. Keep your hand and arm off to the side. Okay, you see, obviously I'm underfilled here, so I'm going to put another ½ liter in, and then we'll test again. I just thought I would show you this temperature gun, and I've showed it in other videos, but it's probably cooled down a little bit since I went and got my pump system ready. But look, we're reading 112.5. So we are real close. Within 1 or 2 degrees, you're going to be fine. Now look over here at my tank. I put a liter in the tank. I'm just going to do a ½ liter at a time. I don't want to waste this fluid. It's really expensive. So I put a full liter in. I'm going to do ½ liter and recheck. I'll make sure this is tight. Make sure my relief valve is off. Okay, now I'm going to start pumping up some pressure. You only need about 10 or 12 pounds, so you just get a little bit of resistance here. And then watch what happens when I open the valve. See, there it is, flowing in. And I might add a few more pumps while I'm doing this. So looking at this, this is where it can get a little bit messy. You want to have some sort of, pan on the floor, because when you shut the valve off, unhook this, then we're going to check for drips while this is still attached. All right, so we've reached about ½ liter. I'm going to close the valve off, and I'm going to release pressure. Don't forget to do that. You don't want this under pressure when you start disconnecting everything. Okay, there goes the pressure. Now I'll take the screwdriver and loosen up this clamp. I'm just going to move it up and then re-snug it down so it doesn't disappear on the floor. Now I'll get ready to pull the pan in when I pull this filter off. Okay, so this is a problem here. This is what's going to leak on you if you're not careful. So what I do is I put it in the handle like this and try to lock it so it stays up in the air, stays elevated. All right, let's check now and see what kind of dripping we're getting. Okay, look at that. You see the constant run? That means we're a little over full, so I'll let it run and watch when it just starts dripping. So I was really close. Looks like we're going to waste a little bit of fluid here. Okay, here it's, oh, okay, see it's dribbling like that? Okay, that's what we want, because when I loosen this up and put the pan plug in, we're going to lose a little more fluid. So I lost about ¼ liter, so I was really close on my initial fill. Now I'm going to put the pan in place here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to plug it with my thumb. Let's see how it's dripping. Yeah, that's what we want. I'll just plug that with my thumb, and then I'll bring the pan plug in. get that started and run that up. Make sure you change the seal if you're just under the car checking fluid level. So this procedure can be used to change your fluid in your transmission or to check fluid level if you suspect you've lost transmission fluid and the transmission's not performing properly. Don't forget, don't do anything else until you get in here and torque this down. About as tight as you would a spark plug. Okay, the fill is done. I want to finish up by making a comment about this temperature gun. It's pretty accurate, but it usually reads a couple of degrees below what the scanner's reading, at least the Ucanic scanner I have. You can see here now, if we start in the back, it's reading 112, and as we come forward, it's going to increase just a little bit as we get up on this edge. See, there's 113. So what I found is if you measure the temperature along this front edge, it's probably going to be fairly close to what the scanner reads.